Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about 5 healthy habits to maintain while you're working from home. Before I get into today's video, please don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and let's just jump right into it. So I've been working from home for most of this year, which many of you probably also are as well, and it's my first time ever working from home, so I had to figure out a lot of new things. I realized there's a lot of things that you really need to do to make sure that you're working from home in the healthiest way possible. It's a little bit easy to maintain certain routines or certain habits while you're in an office, but I find it's easy to kind of fall into a little bit of slump while you're working from home. So my first tip about working from home in a healthy way is to get outside. One of the things I realized about working from home is that it's so easy to just end up staying inside all day, which is not healthy whatsoever. You can't be indoors all day long. Your body needs to feel fresh air, it needs to get moving, it needs a change of scenery. So it's really important that you make sure you break up some of your day with getting outside. It's really awesome if you can go for a walk, maybe first thing in the morning. Some people like to do that at lunchtime instead. Just make sure that at some point in your day that you have made sure you've gone outside to get some fresh air. My next healthy habit to follow while you're working from home is to make sure that you're maintaining a healthy diet. And what I mean by that is making sure that you are not overeating, or as well making sure that you don't forget to eat. So for some, they find that because you're working from home, that you're literally can see the kitchen in eye shot, that perhaps that encourages you to keep snacking all day long, or to be digging into that piece of cake from last night, or just grabbing lots of cookies, or just doing things you normally wouldn't have done while you're working from outside or working in an office, because you would have packed your lunch, you would have had a pre-prepared meal. And so many find that they're overeating while they're working from home. Some of us might be the opposite, which is myself, is that sometimes I get into a whole zone while working from home, and then I realize that I have forgotten to eat. So I'll go all day, and even despite my kitchen being literally right next to me, I completely forget to take a break and to eat, because I think when I was working in an office, I'm used to coworkers reminding me to go eat because they stop by and they're like, hey, do you want to go grab some tea or a coffee? Hey, I'm going for lunch, do you want to come? Or I know that I've packed a lunch, so I'm reminded throughout my day that I have a lunch either sitting right beside me or I've put it in the fridge. So I find that it's a little bit easier to remember to stay on task and schedule when it comes to eating while you're working in an office. It's really easy to get thrown off while you're working from home. So make sure that you're really staying on top of what you're eating throughout the day. One of the easiest tips I can give you is to simply pack your lunch the night before, the same way that you would have if you were heading into an office. So some people like to plan out their meal the same way, snacks, lunch, whatever your meal is going to be. And one of the great things working from home is that you can prepare a meal at home as well. So for example, I love having fresh grilled salmon, so I'll take a salmon piece, throw it on the grill, throw it on top of a pre-made salad, and there you go, voila, I have a fresh hot grilled salmon salad, and it's really, really awesome, something that might not have been easily done while I was working in an office. My next tip or healthy habit for working from home is to set boundaries with your family. I find especially being a parent and working from home, it's extra challenging. It's really hard especially if you have really young kids, to understand that if you're working that you're not accessible. They don't get that. They just see, oh, mama's home, she's in the house. They're used to me being out of the house in an office, and when I come home, they have access to me. So trying to understand that just because I'm in the house doesn't mean they actually have access to me is really difficult. So if you can come up with some sort of cues to help the family or your kids really understand that this is your work time. For some of you, you might have an actual office to go to where you can close the door. Closing the door might be a really good way of letting people know, hey, door's closed, I'm not accessible at this time. If you have your office in more an open space, maybe there's certain cues that you can give to your family. So for example, I've seen there's these little indicator lights that you can actually buy and attach to your computer, and they glow green or red depending whether you're available or not, or whether you're on the phone or not. That could be useful. Or it could just be as simple as having some sort of I don't know, figurine or something that you put on the side of your desk, and everybody knows hey, if this figurine's out on my desk, that means I'm really zoned in, or I'm taking an important call, something along the lines, just to give your family a heads up. Might also be a schedule, so you might want to just set a schedule. Okay, anytime until 4 o'clock, I cannot be accessible. Whatever works for you, just try to set those boundaries with family so you're not frustrated and they're not frustrated. And as long as you're communicating with each other, it will make everything that much more easier. Tip number 4, working from home, is drink plenty of water. Now, this is something that you would probably do even if you were working in an office, but I still think it's important to reiterate. Make sure to always have a water bottle on hand. I am terrible at drinking water, so I find even if I'm at home, and again, I have access to water in my fridge, or I can obviously just run a tap and get some water if I wanted to, or if you have like filtered water on your fridge, you'd think that it would be really easy to stay on top of it, but sometimes you just forget. And so, especially being indoors, and right now it is wintertime, so you have your heat on in the house and everything is that much more dry. Your body really needs to be hydrated now more than ever. So I really recommend getting a water bottle. I love stainless steel water bottles because it keeps everything cool and you don't have to worry about BPA and plastic. I keep this on my desk and it helps remind me, or be like a signal reminder to just put it in front of me to always drink my water all day long. And that will make sure that you will stay hydrated, which helps you stay focused and motivated throughout the day. My last tip in terms of healthy habits to maintain while you're working from home, and that is to create a desk space or an office that has live plants. I have incorporated this into my working life. I never used to be big on plants, but I saw more and more people getting into it, and I realized and did some research on the benefits of having live plants around in your house. Plants can improve your mental wellness because it's a sense of life in the living room. Your brain associates plants with living, outside, outdoors, makes the inside not feel so, I don't know, if you're feeling kind of trapped by being indoors all the day, especially this year, we've been indoors a lot. So having plants to bring a little bit of the outside in kind of just creates a more positive working space. As well, of course, plants give off oxygen, which is really important to keep your body refreshed and motivated. So filling your space with life and oxygen will really help keep pushing you and motivating you while you're working. So I highly recommend, I mean, of course you can get fake plants, but I love having real ones around. It also kind of goes back to my last point of drinking water. When I realize that I have to water my plants, it reminds me that I have to water myself. So I find that it kind of also helps keep you into a good routine because plants need to be given life. They need sunlight, they need water. So there are things that you need as well. So if your plants are dying, it probably means that you're not taking care of them and you're not giving them the proper sunlight and water, and possibly you're not getting enough sunlight and water. So it kind of is a cue or a reminder for yourself to make sure that you're getting outside, that you're making sure you're opening up windows and blinds, getting enough light in the room, and making sure that you're staying top of your routine of watering your plants and make sure you're watering yourself. That's it. Those are my 5 healthy habits to maintain while you're working from home. I hope you enjoyed hearing a few tips on how you can create the best and healthiest working routine that you can at home. Please let me know if you'd like to hear other tips like this, and comment and like below. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week in a healthy way. Oh my gosh. Frog in my throat. Make sure that you please let me know if you'd like to hear other tips that you either plants also give off. Yeah.